we're hanging out in the car park,
Yeah.
and our friend from Vizzy comes out carrying a purple can.
Yeah.
So we could see that from a distance, and we sort of looked at each other and went, "Ooh, bother! That's actually the one that we had originally designed."
Yes.
So we'd failed to send them through the new updated artwork.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Beer with the Brewer. Matty, how are we today?
Very well, mate. It's Friday afternoon, sitting here with you, about to have a beer. Fernando the Fabulous.
Oh mate, life doesn't get much better than that, does
Doesn't
it?
get any better, not
Eh?
really.
Throw a couple of beard rubs in there and everything's peachy as.
That would be nice.
All right, today we are road testing one of my favourites and one of our core range beers, as you can see in this absolutely sensationally styled can design there, which matches the rest of our cores. The Reveller.
The Reveller.
The Reveller, our little session ale, 3.5% pale ale. It's when you want to revel a little lighter without compromising on flavour.
Oh, you've nailed it.
Absolutely,
Nailed it.
absolutely.
You should be in sales, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
You reckon I'd go all right?
Oh, well, maybe.
Maybe, maybe. This, Matty, is an absolute pearler of a beer. And it does what it says on the can.
Better crack her open, eh?
It's a sensational session ale. Like, I don't think I have had a better session ale than this. We've come a long way from the first one,
Cheers.
but I think, cheers Matty, eye contact's always good. So we've come a long way. We've done this a handful of times and tweaked the recipe here, there, and everywhere.
Different iterations.
Just to try and stick true to what we love doing, and it's producing full-flavoured, beautiful drinking beers that everyone loves. And this is kind of an epitome of that. Even though it's a session ale, it still has the body there that you expect. And I guess if you look at the session ales out there available, there is some sort of compromise in relation to hops and everything like that. But this one absolutely packs a punch. It just definitely does not drink like a session ale. It is full flavoured and it's absolutely sensational. So our first one that we ever did, Matty.
The first one we did was, I believe, the Revel Pale Ale.
Revel Pale Ale.
That beer was based more on the Oxford Pale Ale, so more of an American pale.
Yeah.
Like a little bit maltier, so a little bit darker in colour.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was hopped very similar to the pale ale. It was probably a little bit more bitter too.
Yep.
That batch actually went on to win a gold medal the first time I ever brewed it.
An absolute pearl that was.
So that was pretty good. The sad thing about that though, we actually canned it here at Oxford Street where we are today, and I don't think we had boxes for it at the time. I don't know who was organising that, but anyway,
Probably
we had them
you.
all stacked on a pallet, and then at the end of the day, I was trying to wheel them into the cool room, and the pallet jack got caught, and they just go boosh all over the floor.
I've got a photo of it.
Yeah,
I think I
so
took a photo of it, and you were crying in the corner.
Yeah, you can probably see my heartbreak in the
Yeah,
photos.
it was like that. Was it that Ralph and Lisa episode
Yeah, pretty much.
where
where
if you
tears
put it in slow motion, you
Yeah.
can see the
actual
point in
moment
time.
where the heart breaks.
Yeah, that was you on that day, wasn't it?
But anyway, I got over that. Well,
couple
I don't know
years.
if I have got over that. A couple of years later. I guess it going on to win a gold medal was the made up for it.
Yes. Lifted the spirits.
And then I think we might have brewed another batch of it. And then we had a bit of a chat about what we're going to do with it moving forward. And we sort of decided to lighten the beer up a little bit.
Yep.
And now we can see the colour, but we've taken out a bit of the crystal and a bit of the Munich malt. So it's based more now, I guess, on our XBA, or what was our summer ale at the time. But it's still got all that body that you were talking about, and still quite hoppy. So The key to making these beers actually have a bit of flavour and a bit of body. Put a fair bit of dextrin malt.
Yep.
Which is basically malt that's light in colour, but it's unfermentable, so it leaves body in the beer, rather than just a Pilsner malt or something that'll ferment out.
Yep.
So load it up with that, give the beer a bit more sort of body, which then allows you to put more hops in it without making it overly bitter or out of balance. And yeah, there you go. It uses 3 pretty new age hops that we've
good hops. They're good hops.
Played around with the various single hop IPAs.
What have we got? We've got Strata?
Strata, there's some Enigma in it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Nectar on.
Ooh, absolute banging lineup.
So they're all those hops we've done single hop IPAs with.
Yeah.
And then you combine them into this, it's like all those flavours you talk about. It's tropical, it's fruity.
Slight pepperiness.
A slight pepperiness, which comes from the Nectar on.
Oh,
Yeah, Enigma's sort of, got its own sort of thing going on. I think that's why they named it Enigma. But anyway, yeah, and here's the beer. So, as you mentioned, this has now become part of the core range. So originally we brewed it as a limited.
Yep.
And it did well. So we thought we'd bring something like this, a bit lower ABV, into the core range. So it's beer number 5, I guess, in the new printed can. So we went down before Christmas and got the first 4 done. And then recently we went down to get the Reveller done about 3 Fridays ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
There was myself, Jay and Chris who went down. So we're sitting there with what's going on in the world now with COVID. We actually had to sit outside. We weren't invited into the nice office where they give you lunch and everything else.
You didn't get the spread.
We're hanging out in the car park.
Yeah.
And our friend from Vizzy comes out carrying a purple can.
Yeah.
So we could see that from a distance, and we sort of looked at each other and went, "Ooh, bother! That's actually the one that we had originally designed."
Yes.
So we'd failed to send them through the new updated artwork.
What did his face look like?
Yeah, he wasn't that pleased. So how you mentioned before, you could see my heart breaking.
Yes.
You could probably see the steam come out of his ears.
Yeah, right.
If you had a slow mode it. But thankfully there's a nice little pub across the road, so we went over and had
The Gem.
The Gem. We went and
Absolute
had a palmy
gem.
for lunch. And ended
Good
up
solid pub, that.
sorting it out. Had to shuffle a couple of things around, but thankfully they had the right colour at Vizzy for us. So
excellent.
Vizzy really looked after us in getting the can done. And then we put it into cans the following Monday or Tuesday, so which was about 2 weeks ago. So the beer still tasting super fresh.
Yep.
And it's come up fantastic.
It does. And just going from that purple that we did originally have that, and the reason why we did change it to this kind of turquoise type of colour is that it's just a little bit lighter and just resembles more of a lifestyle type of colour.
I think like having a beer down the beach.
Having a beer down the beach and all this type of bits and pieces, like light blue skies, water, all that kind of stuff. So I think it resonates a little bit better than the purple. So that's the type of the thought.
Personally, I
through.
did like the purple, but might be able to save that for a beer down the track.
Yeah, it might be a special one. Might be a special one.
Yes.
So.
But anyway, this is a.
But this absolutely turns out fantastic. This is gonna win many awards coming into the future. It's just a sensational beer. It's probably my number 1 sessionable beer as a session ale goes, because it doesn't even taste like a session beer. It's just full flavoured. You have everything that you want in a beer, but you can have a few extra. So, which is always nice.
It is.
Always nice. So I think I had a couple
one
of Australia
one standard drink for a can, so that's pretty good.
It's fantastic. All right. Well, that's a nice little wrap up on this one. We'll be bringing out. I guess we'll do the road test on all the cores in the new cans and everything like that. So you have an idea of what they all look like out in trade. But I mean, with that stands out pretty well out there. So it's quite capturing in the fridges. So if you do get a chance, grab this and or any of our other core range. It's all sensational and you will not be disappointed. And usually there'll be a limited release there as well. So grab one of them and enjoy. So Maddie, cheers again for a fantastic beer, mate. and we'll enjoy another couple of these this Friday afternoon. Cheers, guys.